Today, we're going to look at a totally new way to think about community development. It's a model that completely flips the old script on its head because it doesn't start with aid, it starts with a story. Let's start with this. Think about that statement for a second. It just cuts through all the noise, right? It takes this daily, backbreaking reality and says, nope, this isn't just how things are. It reframes it as a problem we can actually solve. And you'll see, the solution starts somewhere you'd probably never expect. For decades, the whole idea of international development was all about these big plans, these projects, these handouts. But it turns out we've been missing the most important part. The very first step, the one thing that makes everything else work, has been pretty much ignored. Okay, so let's really break this down. On one side, you've got the old way of doing things, right? It's all top-down. Someone decides, hey, let's distribute a bunch of water filters. And yeah, that sounds helpful. But what really happens? Well, it just adds another chore to a woman's already packed day. It doesn't create a single long-term job. And honestly, it just keeps communities dependent on outside help. But this new model? It's the complete opposite. It starts from the ground up. It's all about giving a community the power to tell its own story. And when that happens, boom, you get local skills, you free up women's time and potential, and you build a foundation for real, lasting jobs. So you're probably asking, okay, what changed? Why is this possible now? And the answer is pretty amazing. It's not some crazy billion-dollar piece of tech. The real breakthrough is something much simpler. Access. The tools you need to create world-class professional communications, they're not locked away in some fancy studio anymore. They've been democratized. They're available to everyone. And this is the really wild part. We're talking about tools that can create video that looks like it came from a movie studio, audio that sounds like a professional podcast, scripts that are incredibly powerful. And so many of these tools are now free. And you don't need to be a tech genius to use them. You just talk to them. So think about what that means. A small group of young people in a village can suddenly operate like their own strategic media company. They can take their local needs, their challenges, their dreams, and turn them into a story that can literally reach anyone on the planet. And that's where things get really interesting, because once a community can tell its own story with real passion and clarity, something just clicks. It opens the door to one of the biggest, and I mean biggest, and most motivated pools of money anywhere on Earth. Get ready for this number. $497 billion. That's how much diaspora communities, people living abroad with roots back home, save every single year. And let's be super clear. This isn't charity. It's not aid money. This is hard-earned cash saved by people who have a deep personal connection to their hometowns, and they are just looking for a good, trustworthy way to invest it back home. So how do you connect that giant number to a single person? This is how. This is the pitch. It completely changes the conversation. It's not, hey, please donate some money to help the poor. No way. It's, listen, invest $5,000 in your aunt. Give her back hundreds of hours of her life every single year forever. And by the way, you'll get your money back plus a return. See the difference? It's not a handout anymore. It's a powerful, personal, and profitable partnership. And this is so crucial because this whole idea taps into something really deep, a core cultural value, especially in communities across Africa and the Caribbean. It's basically a modern version of Ubuntu, that powerful idea that I am because we are. It's about a shared destiny, a bond of sharing that reminds us that working together is always going to be more powerful than competing against each other. It's about shared success with investment that comes from a shared heritage, not from some charity looking down from above. Okay, so we have the story. We have the investment. So what happens next? Let's zoom in and see how this actually works on the ground. Because when that investment comes in, it doesn't just pay for one thing. It kickstarts this incredible self-sustaining cycle of growth and opportunity. It all builds on itself step by step. It has to start with the most basic thing, right? Clean water. Once you have that, you can grow food, maybe with something like aquaponics. Well, both of those things need power, so you bring in renewable energy, like solar. And here's the cool part. All of those systems create waste, but it's not waste at all. It gets turned into another valuable resource. It's this perfect, virtuous circle. Nothing gets wasted. The clean water lets you farm fish and vegetables. The solar panels that are pumping the water, they can also power, say, a local kitchen. And all the organic waste from the farm and the kitchen, that gets turned into amazing soil that can be sold, which brings more money back into the community. It's all connected. Everything feeds everything else. And this is what it's all about.
the human impact. Let's talk about someone like Mama Grace. When this starts, she's spending hours every single day hauling water, her body is breaking down, and her hope is just fading. Fast forward just 2 years. That new system is in place, and she's not just getting help, she's got a job there. 2 more years, she's a supervisor, leading a team. And then by year 10, she's the board treasurer, a respected community leader making decisions about millions of dollars in infrastructure. I mean, that's not just a small change. That's a journey from being a recipient to being a ruler of your own destiny.
And that incredible journey, that leads to the real end game here. Because this was never just about building better services. It's about a complete shift in who holds the power. It's about getting to a place of true community sovereignty. To really get this, we have to kind of throw out our old definition of infrastructure. We tend to think of it as just stuff, pipes, solar panels, buildings. But that's not what it is. True infrastructure is the system that lets a community take control, to have ownership, to make its own decisions about its own future. It's not just pipes and panels, it's power.
So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, it means that within a decade, the community co-op buys out every single one of the initial investors. It's 100% locally owned. It means the women who used to haul the water, they're now on the board of directors making the big strategic decisions. It means the community, not some outside group, decides on the budgets, on how to expand, on what comes next. They achieve total security over their own food, their own water, and their own energy. No more dependency on outsiders, period.
And please note, this is not just some nice idea on a PowerPoint slide. This is real. It's happening right now. This exact model is being built as we speak in Story Village, Kenya. At the same time, the fundamental ideas are being adapted for the islands, for Trinidad and the Caribbean. They're parallel journeys, proving this thing works and that it can be adapted anywhere. And that really brings us to the most important point of all. This whole chain of events, from a simple story to full-blown community-owned infrastructure, it's not a dream anymore. It's possible, right now. The tools are free, the money is there, waiting. The only way to fail, really, is to not even try, to just accept that things have to stay the way they are. So it all comes down to one question. For everyone watching, what story does your community need to tell? When you look at this, you see this incredible journey from scarcity to abundance. And it just proves that real, lasting change, it never comes from some big plan handed down from on high. It's built, one story at a time, one partnership at a time. It's always, always built from the ground up.